Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today we are going to be reacting to a brand new Casual Geographic video, man. This time called Top 10 Most Criminally Misunderstood Animals, bro. So without further ado, let's react to this thing, man. Let's go.
Can recognize their caretakers and show affection. We'll bond with certain individuals and follow them around. We'll often bring someone an object and play tug-of-war. Gentle, inquisitive, and very intelligent. You'd think all this was describing their dog. Actually, these quotes are all from people talking about vultures.
Wow, really?
A griefing alopecia pigeon actually has the personality of a
alopecia pigeon,
puppy.
bro.
You might not know that, because most times people see one, it's either thousands of feet above the earth looking for death, or on the ground feeding off it. Truth is, the vulture just might be the most generationally misunderstood bird.
They do look weird, man.
I'm going to be talking about the top 10 most maligned and honestly reputationally screwed over animals, in my biased opinion. Can't please everyone, but I like my list, so let's get into it.
Number 10.
Starting off, it's not hard to see how vultures got done dirty. It's pretty hard to earn public favor when you dive bowels deep in a bloated buffalo for a living. Then you add the fact that they'll leak liquid nasty all over their legs to stay cool, projectile vomit in self-defense, and in a world of pretty privilege, vultures have a homely handicap. But anyone who's worked with them will swear by how smart they are. They're arguably the smartest birds that aren't corvids or parrots, and they're part of the exclusive group of animals able to make and use tools, with Egyptian vultures using a rock to have an ostrich-sized omelet.
Damn.
Yeah, get on their good side, and it's like having a lapdog with wings. Apollo was a turkey vulture who apparently caught feelings for her caretaker Dave. They're also smart enough for a vulture vendetta to be a real thing. But what makes them underrated is just how much worse our quality of life would be without them. Botulinum toxins is the deadliest natural substance known to man, and vultures eat it like candy. Vultures can also tank tuberculosis, anthrax, and even the bubonic plague. Folks associate them with death and disease, but that's exactly what they help prevent. And if you want to know what happens when you avoid vultures, look no further than India. With about a 99% loss, vultures in India suffered one of the worst bird blights in history, mostly thanks to a drug given to cattle that also caused kidney failure in the feathery coffins. And with less of nature's cleanup crew taking care of expired bodies, the number of feral dogs went up, and so did cases of rabies. And if you remember my Halloween video,
on the channel, that video as well,
to the human race. But that's not the only social work vultures offer for free. The turkey vulture's nose is so OP, they've actually been used to help find gas leaks, with engineers putting special chemicals in pipes. And with them being more corpse happy than a necro in a morgue, many places rely on vultures as alarms against poaching activity. Unfortunately, the poachers started to catch on and have been murking the snitch tweeties by the hundreds, even the ones that are endangered. Worst part is, they're pretty easy targets because it's hard to hide when you're part-time in the sky, and there's no witness protection for a sewer stork. Pretty easy to victimize when you're vulnerable and easy to track, and these are vultures we're talking about. It's not like they have cloaks or camouflage or a VPN. And you know, that last one would actually help a lot, since something like NordVPN would help the sky caskets go off the grid. Since NordVPN
get your bug, bro. Love it every single time.
There's nothing about being a vulture's risk-free. That's why the condor nearly got wiped off the census. In a W from humanity, conservation efforts help bring the big bird back from the brink. Hopefully people start to come around to vultures. Anything that chill with capybara can't be that bad. It's too bad you can't say that about number 9.
Number 9, let's go.
The Grim Reaper once released a gang of guppies into the Amazon and made it our problem. Or at least that's what you would think from how much the media gets on them. You've probably heard that piranhas can dress a cow down to the bones in minutes, and that skinny dipping in a pool of piranhas is one way to get blacklisted from breathing. Truth is, these fish felons are mostly scavengers, and when you do see one with an expired body, they're usually not the cause, but a symptom. They don't go out of their way to homicide humans. Most attacks involve people either splashing around like prey or getting way too close to a feeding frenzy. But they're basically the bees of water. They don't want to smoke, quite the opposite. For all that face, piranhas are naturally timid and scare easy. So much that you actually have to give them places to hide in an aquarium because of just how neurotic they are. Also, they're not strictly meat. They'll also eat fruits, they'll eat seeds, leaves. There's even a type that eats mostly river reeds. But that wouldn't really make a good movie, now would it? Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like they're not capable of mass destruction, but their PR team really did them filth. Jeremy Wade sat in a pool of allegedly trigger-happy piranhas and didn't even get touched. And the whole cow story came from a Theodore Roosevelt hunting expedition where he saw it happen. The catch is, the guides wanted to impress the president, because who wouldn't? So they actually netted off a section of the river and starved the fish in it for a week, only to feed them with a cow while Roosevelt was watching. And just like the cow, the piranha's reputation never recovered. Sometimes all it takes is one incident to royally screw over an animal. Something next on the list knows all too well.
And a piranha, man. Number 8.
Let's just get this out the way. There are some deaths where you never forget where you were the moment you found out. For me, that's Kobe Bryant, Chadwick Boseman, and of course,
For me, Bray Wyatt,
Jesus,
right
aka
here.
Steve Irwin.
I was
And
right
many have
here.
had smoke for stingray kind ever since.
That
Before
one
you go wage war on a
hit
water
me,
waffle,
man.
first we gotta talk about just what went down. For one, Steve Irwin got struck directly in the heart, causing
It did.
massive bleeding. He also never traveled with anti-venom, because anti-venom was anti-Irwin. Wouldn't have mattered anyway, because it wasn't even the venom that did it. Again, it was the bleeding. Stingray venom isn't even all that fatal. And at the time, it was only the second reported stingray-related death in Australia since 1945. It took over an hour for him to get to emergency workers, but again, it probably wouldn't have made a difference. The point is, literally everything that could have possibly went wrong. Like piranhas, stingrays are what a New Yorker might call a scary ad that would rather run away than run a fade. I went to the Cayman Islands a couple of months ago and visited Stingray City, and as someone religiously terrified of the ocean, I can tell you, the crepe of the coast is in fact chilling.
Bro,
If
chilling.
you're ever walking around stingrays, do the stingray shuffle. You're just gonna want to drag your feet. Basically, you don't want them to leave the floor in case RNG makes you turn a ray into a welcome mat. Other than that, unless you're a crab or a fish, you really don't have much to worry about. Besides, let's not act like Steve Irwin, the same man that took a love bite from a cobra and said sorry to the snake, isn't somewhere in the afterlife eternally apologizing to the stingray for spooking him. Stingrays have been misunderstood ever since, but we can drop the vendetta. If we know anything about Steve, that's exactly what he would have wanted.
Facts. Shout out Steve Irwin, man.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
legend.
really gonna have to explain putting dolphins here.
I
Okay,
know,
well I
bro.
feel like this weird thing happened where we went from Free Willy to finding out dolphins take that title seriously. So much that we ended
That's
up
facts.
overcorrecting. And I personally and publicly talked endless amounts of shit. Don't get me wrong, the facts I said, I'll say again, and I'll say it with my chest. But me calling them water Weinsteins or homicidal hot dogs or a blowhole bandit, that's actually
mad
still
set-
crazy.
mad
But that's just me
footage.
anthropomorphizing. I don't actually think they're evil. It's fun to treat them like humans, but they're still just wild animals doing what comes naturally. It's just that what comes naturally often involves them naturally. Actually, I should never mind. Look, with intelligent animals, there's always going to be duality, and I don't even need to say it. I just have to show you these two articles.
Yeah.
The dolphins can be wholesome too. Like the same way parents will baby talk a toddler, mother dolphins actually do with their calves. They'll also sing to their baby before it's even born to teach them to recognize the sound of its mother's voice. We also found out that dolphins in a pod will often go out of their way to make less noise so to not confuse the calf in the oven. And when it's out, being a helicopter parent means mama dolphin won't sleep for up to a month straight.
Wow.
It's also decent evidence that dolphins get excited around pregnant women because they can detect the fetus and understand the implication of new life. And of course, there are stories of dolphins saving people from drowning and
Yes.
sharks. Hey man, I'm not going soft. I'm still gonna get my jokes off whenever I can. I just feel like because they're so smart, people make the mistake of holding them to human standards, which is pretty unfair
true.
considering a lot of humans don't even reach those. Dolphins aren't Disney characters or the spawn of Satan. They're just them. And as the final boss of dolphins, you can go ahead and put orcas in that too.
True, man. We do
The
put
greatest
our
tricks
feelings
squirrels ever
into
pulled.
some
Kids in the
animals.
world are just whimsical
Although, like, I think
creatures. Well, they're
orcas
actually
and
rodents,
dolphins are
psychopaths,
extremely
profiting off
smart,
baby privilege. They'll
more
eat
than
things
we
like
know,
baby
actually.
birds, baby bunnies,
It's just we
and
shouldn't
even
do that. They are
snakes.
still wild
And
animals
squirrels
at the
are
end
also
of the day.
part-time cannibals, with males that'll seek and destroy any pups.
Drink
Only
water,
to
by
get
the
the
way.
mother of
I
the
don't know-
kids
I
they
don't remember if I
just
said that
murdered.
already.
Let's not forget that time a group of squirrels
drink water.
dismembered a dog for barking too loud.
Spoon.
Also, the number of squirrels with manslaughter charges is higher than you think. It's estimated that chew-happy bushtails cause up to 30,000 fires a year,
Hey,
not only costing millions
just
in
chewing
damage, but likely
cable, bro.
barbecuing human collateral in the process. There was even a time a squirrel damaged the electrical system of a complex with NASDAQ, freezing computers and crippling the
Damn.
market for over an hour. That wouldn't be the last time. In fact, one did the exact same thing 7 years later. Now, I know I'm doing the squirrels what I just admitted I've done to dolphins, but in my defense, I have a bias. I once got jumped by a pack of squirrels in Manhattan. That was
Damn.
one half of a sandwich I never got back. Moral of the story, there's a reason the smartest man in the universe immediately took a knee in the face of the Acorn Mafia.
Hey. Squirrels are hymns, you
And
know.
here you have another case of animal
Pig!
gaslight. Pigs only get the reputation of being dirty because we keep them in filth. In reality, pigs are pretty clean, and when they have a choice, they'll refuse to poop anywhere near where they eat. Pigs are arguably smarter than cats and dogs, and most experts say they're more trainable too. They somewhat passed the mirror test, and some were even taught to play video games.
Damn.
In '98, Lulu the potbelly saved her owner from a
Thanks,
near-fatal
I know
heart
that
attack
story.
by rushing out into the road and playing dead until she could get someone's attention and lead them back home. I also feel like we forget how well pigs did without us, and from the Red River hog of the Congo to the pygmy hog of India, to the bearded Borneo pig, the swine smart enough and adaptable enough to live virtually anywhere.
Damn.
On a dolphin type beat, mother pigs will often sing to their piglets while nursing, and speaking of piglets, they can recognize their name at only 2 weeks old. You can argue pigs are everything we value in an animal. They're intelligent, they're affectionate, they're super trainable. Because they were bred for food, they got big screwed. Look, I'm not gonna virtue signal. You can give me 101 facts on cows, I'll probably still be out here door dashing McDonald's.
He's okay.
But it's pretty criminal what we did to the pig's PR. Put it this way, this guy would have been by far the smartest character in the barnyard. They deserve way better than what they've gotten. And I'm not saying you have to
barnyard,
give them
man.
bacon. All I'm gonna say is, according to cannibals, the closest tasting thing to human meat is pork. I'm gonna let y'all meditate on that.
That's true as well. Number 4. Shut up, pigs, man.
That's on number 4, and almost
no. I draw the line here, bro. Nah, man.
Was likely humans
Fuck
themselves.
rats, bro.
My theory is rats are found in cities, and cities are usually dirty, so we often see all rats as dirty. In reality, rats are constantly cleaning themselves. In fact, one of the ways they bond is by grooming each other. It's called allogrooming. Speaking of bonds, rats can often form emotional bonds with humans.
Nah, man, that's foul.
Will tell you.
No.
They'll try to groom you like you're a giant rat. Rats can also provide a public service, with many African rats
splinter all over me, bro.
Tuberculosis. The same species has been used to sniff out hidden landmines, and not only can they cover the ground in 20 minutes that would take a trained human days, they can obviously walk across the mines without going back to ground zero. Gawa, the explosive tech rat, earned a gold medal after sussing out 100 mines in Cambodia and clearing 225,000 square feet of land. He's not the only heroic rodent. There are several stories of rats saving owners from house fires where they easily could have hightailed it.
Nah, man,
if it wasn't for the bad PR, rats just might be the top pet. Only bad side with them is they have short
man, they're
lifespans.
ugly as well.
Will get hurt.
Nah, man, rats is no.
You know, the fact that this is the only animal that needed a
I do like spiders, though. I do like spiders.
Now, I'm not going to downplay arachnophobia
snakes,
like I didn't use the backpack.
I love snakes, man.
Spiders are a great example of bark being way worse than their bite. Take the tarantula. They're like the granddaddy of arachnid anxiety. Not only is their venom about as bad as a bee sting, not only are they so fragile they can literally explode if they fall a couple feet. Unlike bees, there's no
I know what arachnophobia is a real, like,
of course, there's thousands of types of tarantulas, and some are more of a
godfather
than
has
others.
it.
Then
Like,
you have the ones that adopt frogs as nannies, with the frog eating all the insects.
Any size spider, bro, it's
and the frog getting an 8-legged bodyguard. Truth is, there's about 50,000 species of spider seasoning the earth, and less than 0.1% of them are a legitimate threat to your life.
That's true.
And that doesn't include the smallest spider in the world, the patou de guava.
Oh my god, that's so
cute! Literally
cute!
small enough to wear water as a hat. And when you add the fact that they basically have paws to help them walk vertical, and that some like the wolf spider can purr, are spiders not just the cats of insects? My bad, arachnids. According to the CDC, the number of people murked by spiders a year is 7.
Yeah.
They're more likely to get slept by a vindictive vending machine. Okay, you're not impressed. How about this? Spiders eat up to 800 million tons of insects that could otherwise destroy crops. If Thanos had beef with spiders, not only would there be way less food, it would be stupid expensive. You can thank spiders for a 4 for 4, not setting you back 400.
I have $3.
Not to mention all the pesticides we need to stay alive, and ironically turned the Earth into a disaster movie. Look, I'm not saying you got a cape for spiders. I know I'm biased. In fact, bias is probably why the next title is number 2.
Number 2.
I love Lion King, but they'll forever catch smoke for convincing an entire generation that hyenas are, well, that. Hyenas got profiled as scavengers when up to 95% of what they eat
do like
is something they can
hyenas.
get credit for killing.
Hyenas are
like
cool, man. They love.
The literal Lion King poaches more food from hyenas than hyenas hoe lions. And since a laugh-happy vice trap eats every part of an animal, like land vultures, the world would be a much nastier place without the meerkat on a bowl.
I want
Everyone
one.
shit on the garbage man until he quits and leaves you with the shit. But honestly, it's the stupid part that gets me heated. In experiments, spotted hyenas actually perform better in cooperative problem-solving tests than chimpanzees.
Wow.
You know, the chainsaw with thumbs we share 98% of our DNA with. Hyenas are way smarter than they get credit for. Take Waffles,
cute as well,
example.
man.
Waffles was a lady hyena in a clan, and at the very bottom of it, no less. And in just a year, she went from the dirt under the ladder to the alpha at the very top, and she didn't even have to fight for it. All she needed was the power of friendship. No, I'm serious. Waffles slowly made the right friends, built alliances with other low ranks, earned favor with some of the higher ranks. And before the ones at the top could even realize it, the hyena named Waffles had caused what scientists would later refer to as the syrup rising. And you'd think she'd go power hungry once she got the throne, but nah, the opposite. She never switched up on the ones that got her there, and there were even times where she helped feed the cubs of low status moms. Cause hyena hierarchy is more about social networking and climbing the corporate ladder than just running fades all day. See, you wouldn't know that from just watching Lion King.
That's true.
While some are starting to come around to this giant maligned mongoose, one movie ruined the last animal's rep damn near permanently.
I love hyenas, man. They are so cool. Number
There
one.
was no way sharks weren't getting
Oh,
the
yeah.
spot. And
I
really,
love
any way you
sharks,
look at it,
bro.
We did this
Always
overgrown
have
reef guppy grinding.
as a
How about
kid,
the fact
man.
that the shark's
Sharks
KD
are
ratio
great.
is about 10 a year to the 100 million that get murked by
Jesus,
people?
yeah.
What about the fact that a coconut to the dome or a bathtub accident is way more likely to flatline
True.
you than a shark? There's the
True.
fact that we have over 500 species of them, but really only about 4 are seen as legitimately dangerous. So I don't blame you for folding the great whites, tiger sharks, bull sharks, and the underrated oceanic white tip. But this is a shark, and it's unproblematic to anything that isn't plankton. Same thing with the basking, aka Kirby shark, which is really just a giant pacifish. Then you got white tip reef sharks that are not only non-aggressive, they cuddle each other to sleep.
Look
And
at
you can't
that.
forget the lemon shark being the golden retriever of the sea that'll often form bonds with divers. Blondie was an 8-foot lemon shark that would go up to divers, but the only thing she'd be hunting for is attention and affection.
Look at
Well,
that, that's
I'm
cute,
not exactly
man.
a huge fan of this. At the end of the day, I wouldn't want a shark in my living room. You can't be mad when you go into theirs. Because
True.
if there's one thing you should take from this video, calling it shark-infested waters is really wild disrespectful. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug
Hey.
your mother, and maybe give guppies a break. I promise you loan sharks end way more lives. Shout out to NordVPN for sponsoring this video.
Shout out
and I'ma
NordVPN,
see
man.
y'all in the next one.
Let's go. So there you have it, guys. Those were the most misunderstood animals in the animal kingdom, man. Another great video by Casual Geographic. Homie stays the goat. And yeah, guys, I hope you had a phenomenal weekend. I hope you have an even better week. But before you go, don't forget our enjoys on the channel, bro. Come on, man. Keep God first, as always. Drink water, go tell somebody you love them, and if you're here, you know what to do, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.